Greetings everyone, hey, a warm welcome to you all. Thanks for joining me guys, because this is the December reading for you all. It's a great time of the year to go back and review what's happened, given it's the end of the year. It's also a really good time to make some decisions about what not to bring forward in terms of things to let go. It's a good time to also plan your intentions for the new year that is just around the corner. So for 2019 coming. It can be a really good time to also look back on the year and see the things that you have done well, or that you have achieved or set into place, and reward yourself for that, and remember to congratulate yourself on how far you may have come in certain areas of your life. And if there are other things that you want to uplift or to start or to carry on, this is a good time, as I said, to set the intentions and put the plans in place to make sure those activities happen. So I have had recent finger surgery on a sort of a node that needed to be removed, and it has made shuffling the cards a little bit difficult. So for this month we're going to do a different format. I've learned how to improvise and to connect with the, sort of psychic or intuitive realm at a different level. So the cards have already been pre-selected for you as we run through them. So it's time to also, another good perspective of the dynamics of December is a celebratory time. Now, not all of you will follow the event of Christmas. It won't mean that much to you, but it is a time, even from a non-religious perspective, of appreciating those around you, of connecting in the realm of love, of showing gratitude, peacefulness and happiness. So I do want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas as well, and may you have safe and happy, prosperous, love-filled and positive energy-filled December, Christmas and festive season. And I want to thank you all for joining the channel and subbing and liking the videos and being part of the program and the journey forward for 2019. So thank you all for that, and let's get into the readings. Aries. So hey guys, this is your part of the reading for December 2018. And as I said earlier, Aries, this is a different format. Now what we are starting with are the surrender cards, these ones here. It's a really good time of the year to surrender the things that we no longer want to take forward with us into 2019. And by spending the time now and thinking about it and letting it go, we take only that which we want to into 2019. So we move through the beginning of the year with more positivity than negativity. So this was a good deck of cards to use, especially for this time of year. We will then use one tarot card from here, but these are only the major arcanas and the aces. And then you have one last card, which is one of these, the Keeper of the Light. I don't know what they are yet, I haven't looked, but they have been pre-shuffled. So let's get into this one, your surrender card, and it says surrender the habit of people pleasing. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. So Aries, it's about standing up and being true and honest to yourself and putting yourself first now. And it's interesting that Aries is in real terms, and I'm not sure why because I'm not an astrologer, but Aries seems to be the first zodiac sign, even though it's not the first part of the year. And our mantra as Aries is known as I am. So we often do tend to put ourselves first. In somewhere in our life we put ourselves first. But it's looking as though that the message they're saying for you as you release anything for 2018, release serving others or thinking of others or putting yourself down. So this is about the self as you move into 2019. So whether this is thinking of self-health or self-employment or self-career or self-relationships, it's about putting you in the picture first and then establishing from there how it fits with everyone else. Now some of the messages I got while I was working with this card, because I did draw these cards before the actual video was being done, I'll tell you about the messages that arrived. So it said, be you, speak out. And it said, if there are people around you who don't support you and your journey, it's time to make changes. Put your needs first, including health of all types. You are not useful to others unless you are ignited and activated yourself. And I think therein lies one of the main messages in this card from my perspective. So oftentimes we run ourselves ragged doing things or chores for others. Like we may be employed in a job and we stay late because they're short-staffed, or we work extra hard because they're short-staffed. Sometimes when we're at home we have a lot of demands either from our own family members and children, or we might be also nursing or caring for elderly relatives such as parents or grandparents or unwell aunties or uncles. Sometimes our friends are deeply in need and we give the time and energy to them as well. Sometimes we take on more than we can fit in a day's chores and we extend ourselves beyond capabilities, and we pick up things like extra pets or animals and voluntary work, or on top of paid work and on top of our own homes that we're looking after. There's all those type of varieties of things that can overload us. So it's not so much about necessarily saying that you know, other people are causing stress. It's more about ourselves possibly causing stress and not putting things into the correct alignment or the correct order of what we need to be doing in terms of nurturing ourselves. So just remember that if we spread ourselves too thin and we're trying to do too many things at once, then we generally don't do many things well enough anyhow. So we're better to do less and do it well, and make sure that we're putting our own needs and perspectives in that picture at the same time. So by dropping off a few demands and saying, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy, or no, I don't feel right for it, or no, I don't agree to that, or no, you're not quite the right person for me, or no, that's not quite the right job. It's about not being afraid to say, no, it's not right for me at the moment. And that's what the card is about. So as you drop off 2018 and perhaps any overburdens or issues or problems you've had, start to use the word, which is a shame because I often think of no as meaning it's a little bit negative, but it's not when you use it as a positive to help yourself. So start using the word no a little more frequently and planning the things that you really want in your life, the things you really want to do, the ones that are most important, the ones that will give you the most pleasure, the ones that will support you and nurture you, whether it be a new job or a new relationship or a new health regime or a new career of learning. Whatever it is, do it and plan it and learn to moderate the things that you don't want and haven't got the time for. Because in reality, we can't make any more time in a day, but we can do less things. So that seemed to be the main message for you guys. Definitely it says ignite and activate yourself in all areas and including health, and that card is very contemplative there. She's very much thinking, using her thoughts to look into the future. So I think this message for you guys is definitely a message about the future. It's not so much about, you know, looking back into the past year and regretting anything. It's kind of about just going, right, I'm reorganizing my calendar. I'm readjusting things. That's what it is. You scrap some of the plans you might have been formatting. This is about reorganizing and restructuring the future. And I think you will find that if you do this, you'll find it's going to work better for you. Let's see what your card is from the tarot over here. So I'll move this one away. The World. The World is a cool card. It often signifies freedom and endings and new beginnings. And we kind of just mentioned that. I said to you this was about definitely looking forward. It wasn't about, you know, regurgitating the past. I just had this really strong feeling that it was about moving forward. Well, the World is a little bit of that as well. It can often signify that we have been through something, quite a long duration of something. It might have been a career, for instance, and achieving accreditation or certificates or diplomas or degrees, and you have accomplished that. It might have even just been that you have worked in a field for a long time and it's time to move on because you are ready to try something new. There's definitely here, it's about new beginnings, new things coming for you guys. There's also, if you see the woman in the middle, she is naked other than the fact that she's partly draped with that beautiful dark reddy purpley cloth. And of all things in the background, this is a beautiful dark red purpley cloth. So there's kind of a synchronicity going on there. Now, she denotes freedom at many levels. She's sexually free. She feels evolved. She's not particularly worried about what other people are thinking or feeling. She's saying, this is me. I'm free. I'm here to do the things I want to do and to go in the direction I want to go in. So again, this is very much about me. It's about the who I am perspective of life. She usually has a degree of knowledge and attainment and wisdom, and she carries that forward with her on her journey into the newness. So something about wherever you are in life and the lessons you have learned and the wisdom you have gained is what is forming you to be this new direction and to take these new steps of untethered movement forward. It feels as though there are less boundaries, there are less restrictions. It's like you've gained some sort of freedom from something. So again, I think it's a really positive card in terms of new opportunities and beginnings that you utilize from what you have learned. Now, the World card can sometimes signify going on a trip, a big overseas trip. And it can mean meeting new people while you are overseas or having amazing experiences. Interestingly enough, I am going on a big overseas trip next year and really looking forward to it too. So this can involve meeting people from foreign countries that you just connect with and, you know, have a great rapport. Now, for some of you, this can even mean leaving your home environments and going out like a fledgling, and possibly for some of you going to another part of the world to live or to explore or to learn or to understand, sometimes to work. So new careers are in the cards here very much, and possibly new careers overseas, and definitely meeting new people and sometimes foreigners being involved. So it does look as though for a lot of you, and for sure, 2019 may hold some really fascinating, exciting, big new beginnings and feelings of either success and completion or fulfillment as well. So let us move into the final card, which is from the Keepers of the Light, and we'll turn this over and see what you have. And you have Mahavatar Babaji, and he is soul expansion, and how well that ties in with the World, which is expansion. It says your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. And I'm going to read the words to you from the book because the words are just as powerful as the visions are. Mahavatar means great incarnation or avatar, and Babaji means sacred father. Mahavatar Babaji is a deeply respected master yogi who was introduced to the world through the teachings of the Indian yogi Pramashana Yogananda Babaji. Babaji, as he's called for short, is said to be over 2,000 years old and able to travel between Earth and other worlds. He is said to have an invisible temple in the Himalayas that can appear to those he wants to connect with. Many believe that he is like Christ himself, bringing deep love, acceptance, forgiveness, insight and direction. You may feel that you've retreated from the world recently. Maybe you've not been as active socially or spiritually, but this time of inner rest has really paid off. You are becoming more and more consciously aware of how connected you are to God and all living beings. This sense of union is called yoga. Yoga goes beyond physical ability and into a sense of awareness that's created through spiritual practice, meditation and devotion to the divine. Mahavatar Babaji, the yogic father, is here to inspire that fire of union within you so that you can understand how your thoughts and actions are creating the waves of energy that form your life. So there we are, Aries. I really like that connection to the yoga, and we know that yoga, even though it is very meditational, it is also a physical perspective, and she in fact is almost doing a yogic pose. So there's great synchronicity and tie-in within the messages and the paradigms of the cards that you received for your reading. So for those of you on the journey of beautiful soul expansion and connection to all that is, and greater awareness and understanding and knowing, it's like, wow. So expect the greatest, expect a year of opening, of universal connection, of knowledge, awareness, answers, insight, growth, expansion. It's very magical, and there is indeed some magic tied up between the two cards themselves and the energies that came with it. And also the card, the very first one, where it's said to be thinking of yourself, and it does seem as though the message from this one, where it said you may have been spending time alone, you know, that is when we ponder ourself and our life and what is important to us and what the structure of that is going to be. So the three cards really tie in quite divinely. So thank you all for listening and subbing the channel and leaving your comments. You guys are what make the channel grow and continue to flourish and to produce the videos and the insight as well. So I wish you all a magical, marvellous December and Christmas coming up. A happy festive time. Be safe and feel the love and expansion. Much love everyone. Namaste.